Exercise 3-2. We're going to complete the values in this spreadsheet, but this time we're going to use something called sheet references. Now, you'll notice that we need to combine data from 2009, 2010, 2011, and 2012 in order to complete this worksheet. However, the values that we want are actually in other worksheets in the same workbook. And I'll show you where they are. Let me resize this window. Okay, so you can see all the sheet tabs down here. You'll see that we have a worksheet called 2009 income, 2010 income, 2011 income, and 2012 income. And we need to refer to these other worksheets in order to complete the values here. So let's get started. The revenue for 2009 for Britannia Hotels will come from the 2009 income sheet. So to refer to a cell that is not in the same worksheet, you need to know how to use a sheet reference. Luckily, we can simply use our mouse to click on the cell that we want, and Excel will do the typing for us. So let me enter the reference to the revenue coming from the 2009 income sheet. Equal. I click on the sheet name 2009 income. Okay, and at the same time that I go to this other sheet, you'll see that up here the sheet reference has been typed in for us. So that saves me a lot of typing. I select the cell that I want, and now you'll see the cell reference is the sheet reference surrounded by single quotes, and then there's an exclamation point, and then the cell reference B6. And at this point I can press enter. Remember, we were originally entering the formula here, so we need to press enter to get the result. And when I double click, you'll see that the formula has been entered, and the formula is simply a reference to B6 in the worksheet 2009 income. So that's how you write a cell reference that includes a sheet reference. Okay, now I do the same for 2010. Equal. Click on 2010 income. Click on the cell reference and I press enter. For 2011 and for 2012. My total revenue is simply sum of all my revenue sources. And since I only have one cell reference, then I just say sum B6 and I copy this to the rest of the cells. Next, the cost of goods sold. This one will also come from those other worksheets. So equal 2009 income, cost of goods sold. Now gross profit is going to be equal total revenues minus cost of goods sold. Okay, and we have to do the same for the other years. 2010 income, cost of goods sold, press enter. 2011 cost of goods sold, that's B8, press enter. 2012 cost of goods sold, press enter, and we copy this formula, right? And now these two expenses are also going to be taken from those yearly or annual worksheets. So I go back to 2009 income. Selling and depreciation comes from here. Okay, now we can simply copy this. Okay, why? Because even though the sheet reference won't adjust, the cell references will still adjust. So that's exactly what we want. And other operating expenses would be the sum of selling plus depreciation. So our net income is going to be gross profit minus other operating expenses. And our profit margin will be net income divided by total revenues. Now, if your answer doesn't show up with the percent sign, how to get that format is through here. You can just click this shortcut button and you can make the percent sign appear, and you can click this arrow to increase the number of decimal places. That increases the precision of your answer. Alright, now I leave it up to you to complete the rest of these cells. And the next thing we're going to do, we're going to learn how to create Sparkline. You'll see that I've formatted my worksheet, and now I'm ready to enter my Sparklines. Now, Sparklines are also charts, but the difference between a Sparkline and the charts that we've created so far is that Sparklines are actually contained inside a cell. They're actually a background image in a cell, rather than a graphic that floats above the worksheet that you can drag to wherever you want it to go. And the Sparklines give you a very quick way to represent data trends. So let's get started. This is the cell where I want to insert a Sparkline to show the trend in total revenues. So up here you'll see there's charts, and there's a section here called Insert Sparklines, and we can choose from line, column, and win or loss. I'm going to go with column, and I click here, and now it asks me to select the data range. That means the input cells for the Sparkline. So I'm going to select the revenues from 2009 to 2012. And where will the Sparklines go? It will go into F7 because that's the cell that I've already clicked on, and I go OK. And you'll see that the Sparklines have been entered in cell F7. I do the same thing with F9. I want to add Sparklines for the gross profit. So again, I go to charts, and I go to this section here which says Sparklines. I select column and the range. It goes into F9, and I click OK. And you'll see that for both revenues and profits, my Sparklines show an upward trend. Now I'm going to insert Sparklines for operating expenses. Click on charts, column. Okay, I select the range. You'll see that for operating expenses, there's a downward trend, which is good. That means we're cutting our expenses but increasing our profit and revenue. For F13, I insert Sparklines for net income. Net income also shows a upward trend, and profit margin. Profit margin shows an upward trend as well. And that's Sparklines, and a quick and easy way for us to visualize data and to add that trend into a single cell.